Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, Warrior of Love. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what is contracts, spiritual contracts that we do, or vows, or simply courts that we have with other people. So let's start. Well, what is a contract, you may ask? A spiritual contract. We all do every day or almost very often. And we have done it every single second of our day. Remember when you got married the first time, or you were in love with someone? The majority do. We all have, and we say, "I will always love this person." That's a contract that you're doing in that moment, or a vow. And or you say, "I will never do something like that," or "I will never do something like that." When you're judging people. When you're judging people, that's when we tend to do more contracts or vows. Because when you're saying, "I will never do that," our words are so magical. And we forget our words are so magical. And we're creating our reality according to what we're speaking. So, and the majority of the time, we're not even aware when we're speaking about what we're saying. And that's where we're creating. Or I wanted to talk also about, I would talk about what is the courts, because those are very important too. But the contracts of the vows are basically are times when we are saying, when we're very emotional, and it can be in love, or it can be in angry, or it can be sad. Any kind of emotion can bring, you can make a contract or a vow. And that's what we have to be aware. When we're emotional, before you say something, first stop, breathe before you say it. Because in that moment, you're creating a vow or a contract. And the funny part with the contracts and the vows, the spiritual contracts and vows, it goes not only from this time, we have done it repeatedly in past lives too. So we can be aware of the ones we're doing right now, but we forgot about the ones we did in past lives too. So that can go other vows and other contracts saying, "I will always would do something like that," or "I will never have luck with men," or "I will be single," or "I will be." Remember, like the nuns that when they do the vow of, or priests and they do the vow of chastity, and now in this timeline they say, "Why can never find love? Why never love me?" or so forth. Well, they did a vow of chastity, and they didn't even in a ritual. So why you're in this timeline, you're having so much trouble about it? Let me tell you a little bit of one of my stories. I got pregnant when I was 18 years old, as the same as my mother. She was 18 years old when she got married, and when she had her first kid, as I did. Those are family contracts. And also, when I was 37, I got pregnant again with my last child, as my mother did also when she was 37. We follow the same patterns of our parents subconsciously. Because obviously, if someone tell me now that you're gonna get pregnant at 18 years old, I will laugh and say, "Of course, I'm not ready to have a kid at 18, or less have a kid at 37. I'm too old for that." I did not plan the both of them, and obviously, I got pregnant. But we tend to do the same things and repeat the same mistakes as our parents subconsciously, because we tend to repeat the same patterns, the same contracts. So my mother always have said to us, "Oh, we tend to repeat the same patterns," and guess what? There it comes. I was the youngest one, and I heard it so many times in my life that I did, uh, uh, I did got pregnant at the same time as she did, because she created that contract with me, because we had a cord between mother and daughter. And that was a cord that we had between both of us. And that's why it repeats. Now it's up to me that I did also my work to cut in that cord and that contract so my daughter do not get pregnant when she's 18 years old and do the same mistakes that I did. I'm not saying that she can not have kids or not. She wants to, she can. If she don't want to, she don't. But that will be her choice, and it will be imposed by a contract about or a code that we have with mother and daughter. You see how this works? The majority of the time, we say so many things that we forget what it comes out of our mouth. So we have to be aware of all these kind of things because there is a big role playing in our family. Or I will always will be with my family. And guess what? You never got out, or you never go away, or you try to go away, but then you feel guilty and then you come back. And those are becomes also programs, but at the same time are contracts and vows. That if you're not becoming aware what patterns you are following, and you're not aware of that contract, you can learn how to cut it. And the majority of the time, we don't even know we have done that until we start repeating the patterns that why I always this happened to me, why I always choose the same kind of men, why I always choose I can't get away from my family. I move far away and then I come back. That happened to me too. I was born, and one of the contracts when I was coming here, I was in charge of taking care of my parents until the last day of their days. And I stayed for 52 years taking care of my parents. Not in the sense that I was taking care of them like a baby, but I would never left away. I never left. I always stayed in the same place, in the same city. And every time I left, like I moved for a year to Los Angeles, in that time I was missing like crazy my mother, that I have to come back. And I was feeling guilty for even trying to leave her when I was doing already my life over there with my husband, etc., etc. So I came back. I moved far away to study, and it was easy to manipulate me to come back home. Why? Because I was following that pattern, that contract that I have done with them, and it was repeated over and over and over, and that creates a program from that contract, so that will make it more intense at the same time. When we become aware of those patterns that we're repeating, or the same thoughts, or what it came out from our mouth when I say, I will never, or I will always will hate that person, I will always hate that, or all men are like this, and that's why I don't trust them. Well, guess what? If you have kids, at the same time, you're doing the same contracts and the same vows. And you have male kids and you're hating old men, guess what? You're hating also that's your same time at your own sons. So we need to be aware what it comes out from our mouth. So I hope this is helpful, because this is very important that we learn to stop before we talk. Take a big breath, take it to your stomach, and let it out before we speak. Because or else we're going to continue repeating the same story. And if you're tired of doing that, just change it. We can't change anything, even the contracts, the vows, even the cords, we can cut them off. The cords, another way also to get in a cord, it is when you have sex with someone. When you have sex with someone and you fall in love with a person, and then you can feel the exchange of love that is interchanging between both of them, because energy transmits like that. You're creating a cord with that person. And what happened when you finish that relationship? What happened? Well, you still have that cord with that person. So you need to cut it off and send those two parts with love to each other. There are many techniques and many ways that I teach my students to do. So like that, they know how to cut the contracts and the vows and the cords, sexually, emotionally. There are many cords that we create. So Become aware of that. And if you want more information, I'm going to be teaching a 6-month program, activating your multidimensional energy. And in there, I'm going to be teaching about all this and more. So if you want more information, just contact me. But the mainly what I wanted to talk in this video is become aware and think before you talk. Thank you very much. This is Monica Ramirez, Warrior of Love.